Daniel Lucas, and welcome to Book 101 Review. Book 101 is all about the bookstore read for the last 40 years. And today I have my special guest. He's an author as well as giving you how to start a business well, none other than Mr. Tom Cooke.
Hey, Daniel.
How are you, Mr. Tom? Welcome on Book 101 Review. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I missed?
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on as well. I appreciate that. And the last 5 years now, for nearly 6 years, I've been helping over 2,000 people through coaching, training, through events as well, helping them to start a business, but ultimately to make money from that business as well, so they can get to a place where they can leave their job, the thing that's keeping them trapped, the thing that causes them to be miserable in life, and helping them escape from that. But I haven't always been into doing coaching and training. And in fact, I spent the previous years before that working as a quantity surveyor for a construction company. I was on a good salary, but I just realized that I felt trapped and restricted myself. And it's just not what I wanted to do with the rest of my life.
Mr. Tom Cook, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to And today, let's talk about from one last paycheck to freedom, how I escaped the 9 to 5 trap. So tell us, Mr. Tom, what was the specific event, conversation, or feeling that transformed a general, well, dissatisfaction into unwavering decision that your next paycheck will be your last traditional paycheck?
Hmm, that's a good question. I had been, so when I was working as a quantity surveyor, I thought I was set for life. I had the good job, I had the good career, I was earning good money. And I ended up going, I took 6 months off to go traveling. I went to New Zealand, I went to Cambodia, spent time in Thailand as well, Malaysia. Had amazing, amazing time. And for the first time in my life, I'd experienced freedom, that ability to wake up in the morning and go wherever I want, do whatever I want with whoever I want. And it was a feeling I'd never experienced it before. And what ended up happening is I went back after 6 months, I went back to my job, and same company, same role, same desk. And I was handed my new employment contract. And one of the conditions in it says, if need be, you'll work weekends, holidays, and any overtime necessary to get the job done. And there won't be any additional remuneration. So no additional pay for doing that as well. And I felt, because I'd experienced freedom for the last 6 months, in that moment, I suddenly felt so trapped and I felt so restricted. And I thought, is that it now? I've done 6 months, but am I going to be spending the next 20, 30, maybe 40 years working in a job, working for somebody else? And I felt so trapped. And I didn't know that starting a business was a possibility. All I knew was that I just wanted to create a life for myself where I could have freedom, I could have fulfillment as well. I could do something more meaningful. And that's where I started looking for answers. And I found out about business. And the first thing I did, I just set up a coaching business. I wasn't helping people start businesses at that point. I was just working with them on their goals, on their mindset, helping them work on themselves personally. The longer I stayed in the job, though, I was doing my business on the side. The longer I stayed in the job, the more miserable I became. I knew what I really wanted for my life. And there was one instance where I got taken off a project that was keeping me motivated. I got put with a manager that I did not get along with. And that was the final nail in the coffin for me, that I just cannot do this anymore. I want to create something for myself on my own terms, doing something more meaningful where I have the choice. And that's when I handed in my notice. And that's when that was the conversation, and I made the decision to leave.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Tom. You did the right thing for sure. The
Mm.
fear of leaving, oh, yes, a steady paycheck is immense. What is your single greatest fear, and what's the specific mindset shift or practical step allowed you to move forward despite that being present?
Mm. The the natural fears come up where I think in, okay, well, what if I quit my job and it fails? And I thought in that instance, what's the worst case scenario for me? What's if it does fail, if it all goes wrong and I completely screw it up, like what is the worst case scenario? And ultimately for me, it was going to be I was going to move back home and live with my mum. And that's a good thing, right? She would have taken care of me. So that gave me some kind of peace of mind that actually, do you know what, worst case scenario, it's not bad. And I think I then realized that I could live with that, and that gave me permission to do it as well. What's always shown up for me, and still to this day it does, is a fear about what other people think. you know i it's the approval, it's the judgment from other people. And I think for a lot of people, they have that. What will their family think? What will their friends think of them if they were to start a business and one day quit their job? Because we're taught our whole lives to get a job, and that's what we should be doing. And that judgment comes up, like I said, it still does today. But I think the way to handle that, or what helps me, is just understanding that we're only here once. We're only on this planet once. It's your life. Like, screw what other people think, because it's not. At the end of the day, you've got to be accountable to yourself. And at the end of it all, you've got to ask yourself, hey, did I live the life that I wanted to live? And these people that maybe are negative towards your dreams, they're not going to be there at the end. So why do we take their view? Why do we take their opinion to heart so much? I know that's a big thing, is like people, we worry about what other people think about us.
Mr. Tom, how did your definition of security evolve from being tied to a corporate entity to being rooted in your own skills, capabilities, and resourcefulness?
What's my definition of security? Is that the question?
Yes, please.
Okay, that's a good question. So, security, my definition of security, being able to earn an amount of income that enables you to pay all your bills that you have, to be able to live comfortably as well. If you can have that taken care of, and create a system for yourself that keeps paying you every single month, that's my definition of security.
Interesting, Mr. Tom. Leaving a 9 to 5 often means shading an identity tied to a job title. Who were you before you made the leap, and how did you have to become to succeed?
Hmm. Who was I before I left my job as an identity? I was Before I had the realizations about leaving my job, I was a career driven employee. Like, I thought my life was going to be working my way up the corporate ladder, getting promoted, get increasing the workload, increasing the salary. I thought that was what my life was going to be. And I was okay with that before I went traveling, because my whole life I'd been taught that that was the right thing to do. go to school, get good grades, get a job, earn a good salary, get a home for yourself, start a family. That was the traditional route to go down. So I thought that was the right thing to do. I had to let go of that and actually realize that there's a there's a better way to do things. And the identity that I've adopted, I think, since leaving that job is one of having more responsibility, self responsibility, because nobody, when you step into business, nobody tells you what to do. If I go to a job, my boss or my manager go, right, I need these tasks done. I need it doing by this time. I need these reports doing, and there's a rhythm to it. So you know what you got to focus on. But when you step into business, suddenly you don't have a boss there. You don't have a manager there. If you sleep in all day and you stay in bed with your own business full time, nobody comes knocking on your door and go, what are you doing? You have to answer to yourself. You have to become self-responsible. And the level of responsibility goes up so much. It's that self-accountability. And that's what I've had to adopt more. I've had to drive myself to get into action. And I'm not going to say that has been easy. Not at all. You've got to find that fire, you've got to find that reasoning, you've got to find that drive in yourself to get into action, because nobody else is going to drive the business forward. Like, you've got to do it for yourself. Nobody can come and rescue you or save you from it. You've got to drive it forward yourself. And I think that was a big shift for me. It was a difficult shift as well to make. And I think that's what a lot of other people struggle with when they start their own business. It's the fact that they have to get themselves into action. They don't have a boss or a manager telling them what to do.
The strategy and practical execution. Did you follow a leap in the net will appear model, or did you meticulously build a financial and professional bridge before leaving?
This was a big mistake for me. I left my job too early. And I think it scares a lot of people when they start a business. They think they have to leave their job to build that business. And from my own experience, I left my job, like I said, last paycheck, but I had a couple of months of not signing up any clients. And this was in 2020, and COVID kicked in. And it was in the beginning half of that year, it was so tough, right? At one point, I couldn't put food on the table. My friend had to rescue me with food shopping. And I want people to realize that you don't have to go through that. There's no point putting yourself through that kind of suffering for no reason. You can build a business on the side of your job. If you've only got 2 hours free every week, and it's 2 hours better than nothing, you can build your business on the side, get the income to a place where it matches your job salary, and then you can make the switch, and you can do it from a place of choice, and you can do it in a more comfortable, seamless way as well. It stops the desperation, right? It stops you making panic decisions out of fear because you're not able to pay your bills this month. So that I would say to everyone, build up your income on the side with a side business, get it up to a point where it matches your job income. This is ideal situation where it matches your job income, and then demonstrate that for 3 consecutive months, you can make the same income. Once you've got 3 months of consecutive income, then make the switch.
Very well said, Mr. Tom. Thank you for that empowering answer. And tell us, as a smart business expert as well as an author, what are your short-term and long-term goals?
My long term goal is I want to be able to travel the world. I want to take my fiance to become my wife. We'll want a family, and I want to travel around the world and to do two things. I really love speaking to groups of people. I love being in a room. I love teaching people and with personal development, business skills. So I want to travel around the world doing that. but then also being able to see different cultures, different religions, different countries. I love seeing all of that. I love seeing where people come from and what they do, and getting involved in what locals do in different countries. So that's a long term goal, and really just experiencing the best that life has to offer. In terms of a short term goal, what I'm focused on at the moment is just building a community, because I think people who want to start a business can sometimes feel very on their own, and I want to get a group of them together, where every single month they're plugged into this community, they're getting value, but they're growing. Ultimately, what I want to see people start a business and start getting their first sales from that business, because it's going to give them hope, it's going to motivate them, and they're going to feel excited for the future again, instead of just looking like the future is just going to be a job for them. So that's the short
Yes.
goal for me.
Good luck to your goals, Mr. Tom, and looking forward for more success. And what will be your piece of advice for those people out there want to be like you?
The piece of advice for people out there: the universe, yeah, this is it. The universe will never send a challenge your way that you can't handle. And sometimes we're going through stuff in life, we're through difficult periods, tough times, and a different crisis happens or an emergency happens. And if you're listening, I just want you to know that whatever you're going through, you can handle it. Whatever the universe sends to you, you can handle it. You can deal with it. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been that challenge, or that problem wouldn't have been sent to you. And I just want you to just feel hope that you'll get to the other side of it. You'll come out okay. You'll be a better person because of it. You'll be stronger, and you would have learned something from that experience as well. It doesn't take away from the fact that it's a tough time you're going through. It's still difficult, but you will be okay, and you will get through it, and you'll be better because of it as well.
Thank you for that advice, Mr. Tom. And can you please recommend a book or books that influence your journey?
Thank you. I really appreciate your permission on this as well, just to share about my own book. I wrote a book called "It's Time to Win Big." Oh, fantastic! Yeah, it's time to win big. This was a book, The Art and Science of Achieving Your Dreams and Amazing Results. And the reason I wrote that book in the first place is because what I noticed is a lot of people. There's so much personal development, and there's so much information out there online, and it just seems like now more than ever, people are struggling more than ever before. They're not getting the results. They're with money, with health, in relationships. And I've been really blessed. I look back over my life, and I'm really grateful I've been able to do some amazing achievements, set goals, get some big wins for myself. And I just, at the heart of everything that I did, was not only the people who were supporting me, but also what was going on in my mindset and the way that I was thinking and my self belief about things. And I wanted to teach people in this book, I wanted to showcase that anybody from any background, no matter what you're going through, could get similar results. You get whatever you dream of and whatever your goal is, through a series of processes and working on yourself and working on your mindset, you can get the goals and dreams that you want in life. And the only way to get those is by working on the thoughts that you have. The 6 inches between your left ear and your right ear is the most important
Mm.
piece of space that you own. And if it's not working for you, then it's definitely working against you. And as soon as you can start getting this back on your side, that's where you can make progress. You can have more happiness, you can have more success, more prosperity and money, more peace of mind as well. And that's what I wanted to help people with this book. That's what I wanted to support them with. Anyone can have it as well.
Yes, definitely. And thank you for that recommended book, Mr. Tom. What was the first concrete moment you experienced where you thought, this is it? This is why I did it.
Why I did it. When I remember it was one of the first clients I had. So I'd left my job. One of the first clients I had, and she'd been struggling with some things, but we worked together for a few months, and then she was able to start signing up her own clients, and she would start able to make her own money from her business. And I got a text from her. I got a WhatsApp message saying that she'd had this big win, she'd made this sale, and that confirmed it for me because you suddenly when I was working a job, there was a lot of money with these construction projects, millions of pounds, right? A lot
Yes.
of money. But I never got to see people moving into the properties. I never got to see the faces of the end user. So in terms of fulfillment, it wasn't really there. But being able to help one person, being able to directly help them make money, make sales, to improve their life, and then get a text like that means a lot. That means a lot. And that's when I felt like I was actually doing something to help people. I was doing something more fulfilling, something that actually has a direct impact on helping people with their lives.
Definitely. Helping people is something else. Beyond money, how do you know measure wealth and success? Is it flexibility, autonomy, impact, or creative freedom?
Time. Time's as you ask in that question, time is the word that came into my head. And I think if I can have time to spend with my partner Elena, to spend with my friends, to spend doing hell if I go to the gym, hobbies as well. If I can have the time to do that, then that's how I measure my success. Because I see people and they are working their backsides off. They are working so hard. Yes, they're earning a lot of money as well, but the kids don't speak to them. The wife or husband doesn't want to speak to them. Their health is shot to bits. They're in a terrible way. So it's just like, okay, we can earn lots of money, but if it's not really adding to our life, then what's the point? And for me, it's time. I want to spend time with the people that I love, doing the things that I love as well.
Mr. Tom, if you could give only one recommendation to someone who is starting at their computer screen, dreaming to escape but feeling completely stuck, what would it be?
Go on ChatGPT. You can do Google ChatGPT, but I'd recommend using AI and start putting in all your skills, all the things that you're good at, right? The innate talents you have. What do other people ask you for help with? What do you find comes easy to you, but other people struggle with or they have a difficult time with? Start writing all those things out, put those in, and then start thinking about what are people's problems? What do people struggle with every day? What gets them frustrated? What do they ask you for help with? Where are they visibly you see them banging their head against a brick wall because they don't know how to do it. And so these are all problems and frustrations that you can write down, and then you can find out what's the sweet spot between what you're good at and your strengths, what and the problems that people have. There'll be a point, there'll be a sweet spot, there'll be some synergy, and that's where a business idea can form. Because in business, people are going to pay you to have their problems solved. That's the only reason why we hand money over to other people, is because they solve a problem for us. And so business is about solving other people's problems. And you can take what you're good at and use that and package that up in a way that solves people's problems. And in return, they pay you.
Indeed, knowing what you know now, but about market shift and corporate loyalty, how do you view the long term security of a traditional 9 to 5 job compared to the security of controlling your own income?
Yeah. I don't I personally don't think that in the future we will have employees, but I think it will just be done in such a way where I don't think we'll have this whole 9 to 5 thing. I think we'll have smaller teams of people who are self-employed, of contractors, and everybody is working more independently, because with the way that AI is going, with the way that technology is going, a lot of the jobs that we have now, just they're not going to be around. We're not going to need people to do them. So people are going to have to upskill, and they're going to have to learn. They're going to have to learn how to make money from their own thing in order to be able to pay bills, in order to be able to function and have that security, like we talked about earlier. That's the way that I see the world going, and I think people who are maybe feeling secure in a job, it's okay for the short term, but we just don't know in the future like what that is going to be like. And it's just jobs like that are going to become more and more unsecure.
Mr. Tom, before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season. Abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 to be in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in second season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101 in fourth season, and my baby podcast. Law 101 and Mental Health 101, Love Letters in third season, and Movie 101 Review, Music 101 in fourth season, and Science 101 and Sex 101 in its first season. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Tom, having achieved this freedom, what is the new mountain you're climbing? What does the growth look like for you that you no longer trying to escape a trap?
Well, it's more a personal thing. So for me, it's becoming a dad. That's the next thing for me. So it'll be working massively on myself to provide for my family, give them the best life. So for me, there's a lot that I got to work on myself to be. It's again, it's an increase in responsibility. So I've got to step up.
Mr. Tom Cooke, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So can you please invite our listeners to support your book, your advocacy, your business, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Yeah. So I think the best places. I'm on Instagram, Tom WJ Cook. My book's available as well. You can do that. Or you can go to my website, which is tomwjcook.com. COOK. Thank you very much.
Yes, people, let's support Mr. Tom Cooke because if you support him, for sure, more and more and more empowering books to come, more and more empowering business to come. So, Mr. Tom, thank you so much for your time.
Daniel, thank you so much for having me.
More to come, people. See you soon.